Now coming to verbal, how can somebody become very, very good at verbal? By inculcating a habit of reading. I stress a lot on the habit of reading because I myself have seen that when you are reading a lot, you are able to read faster, you are able to understand or comprehend whatever is being taught in the first time. That is, when you go through a passage, and if you are able to understand what is the importance of each paragraph of that passage. The passages that are given in CAT are very good passages. These are passages that are written by very well written authors. Many times when we write a passage or when we write a letter, we feel, or I feel that, okay, my passage one is not flowing directly into the second passage, or the paragraph is not flowing directly into the second paragraph. But in a examination like CAT, when they give you a passage, each paragraph has a purpose. The first paragraph has a purpose. The second paragraph has a purpose. There is a connectivity between the first paragraph and the second paragraph. It is possible that they introduced the first paragraph, the idea, and then they expanded it in the second paragraph. Then in the third paragraph, they might actually say that, okay, whatever we discussed also has some drawbacks, and they might expand more on the contrary in the third paragraph. Essentially, what I'm saying is that a passage that is given in CAT is a very well written passage. Every paragraph in that passage has a purpose, has a meaning. There is a reason why that is included. Every line that is given in that passage also has a purpose. No line is just a redundant line. So many times when you believe that, when you're reading a paragraph or when you're reading a passage, try to summarize yourself as to what is the idea or what is the reason this paragraph has been given. In a passage, if there are four paragraphs, what is the idea of the first paragraph? Why was it given? What is the idea of the second paragraph? Why was it given? And so on. Now, this kind of immediate or impromptu understanding you are going to get only if you read a lot, and only if you read a lot of good passages. Now, the second question that you can ask me is, but sir, where can I find good passages? Now, you can find good passages in multiple ways. You can actually go through the CAT daily targets that are given by us. There are Cracku daily articles that are also given by us, where every day we upload 3 or 4 passages which are from very good sources. Another thing is, if you don't want to depend on Cracku, if you want to do it on your own, you can look at the summary of the last 3-4 years CAT previous year's papers, and based on the last CAT previous year's papers, you can find out the source of the archives for the last 3-4 years CAT. Once you figure it out, you will notice that there are some important websites that are given. The important websites are either The Economist or Aeonisys or the Hindu, Indian Express, Guardian. All of these things, if you figure out the sources of the previous year's papers of CAT, you can find out that, okay, these are the 5-6 important websites. Bookmark those important websites, and based on it, go to those websites at least once or twice every day and try to read at least 1 or 2 articles from these important websites every single day. Then you will get this habit of reading, which will help you quite a lot in doing well in RCs. In addition to inculcating a sense of discipline and a habit of reading, one other thing I would tell you is start taking verbal sectionals regularly. This, I think, is especially true for students who are really struggling in verbal, because many times I see that especially engineers, they tend to do well in LRDI, they tend to do well in quant, but they tend to struggle a lot in verbal. Now, I have noticed this many times that when somebody is struggling in verbal, they tend to not attack the problem head on. They tend to take a full length mock so that their score in LRDI and quant is good, but their score in verbal is low. But then they say, okay, sir, but my overall score is good, but I'll improve in verbal. This is a way in which they're trying to cope themselves, but that is not efficient. You know very clearly that you have to work more on verbal. So put in the effort in verbal. Inculcate a habit of reading. Take more verbal sectionals. Take more verbal daily targets. Do whatever you can to focus on the area that you're struggling with. That, I think, is the second advice I would give students who are struggling in any one of the sections.